renewable energy is concerned, and selecting our project during the first phase of the screening. I'll just share the screen. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So this is Devendra Dalai. I am Secretary Science and Technology, Renewable Energy, and CEO Crest of Chandigarh Administration. Before I come exactly to the project, that is 500 kilowatt of floating solar projects, I would like to throw some light on the green initiatives of Chandigarh. As you all might appreciate the fact that Chandigarh is a union territory and also a state capital of two states, that is Punjab and Haryana. And ever since this city was developed post-independence, the greening was the major theme over which the city has been developed. A lot of emphasis has been given to all the greening initiatives in the past and also at present also. Everybody is talking about the carbon neutrality, carbon sequestration, green energy, all those things. So Chandigarh is also in the similar race and in line with the policy of Government of India, the commitment that we have made before the World Community in Paris Agreement and all those forum that will also make our city Chandigarh carbon neutral. When the entire world they commit to themselves that they will make the city, make the entire country carbon neutral by 2047. India also envisages that will make the country carbon neutral by 2070. Chandigarh has an ambitious target that will make the city Chandigarh carbon neutral by 2030. So we make all out efforts to make to lessen our carbon footprints and make the city carbon neutral by 2030. Amongst all green initiatives, I would like to throw some light just to enlighten you all that we have got 50.05% of forest and green cover. Many of you may not be knowing this fact that this city is a urban area, but in spite of the fact that we have got 12 lakhs of human population, 12 lakh equal number of the vehicles, in spite of so much of urbanization, we have still been able to preserve 50.05% of the green cover. And amongst other initiatives also, the entire fleet of Chandigarh transport undertaking buses, we have around 380 buses. We are going to make it e-buses in a phased manner. Already we have converted 80 buses into e-buses so far as the intra-city transport is concerned. We have got 220 kilometers of cycle track. We encourage people more and more to cycle to their workplaces and the market. We have a neighborhood market concept so that people don't need to commute longer distance to reach to their destination. So we encourage more and more bicycling. Recently, we have finalized our electric vehicle policy also. So over and above the FAME 2 policy of Government of India, we are providing additional incentives to the people.
Sir, I can see your second slide only.
Yeah, I'm there only. I'm just giving some background before coming to the exact project. Then I'll rush through the project also.
So you focus on your project because you have got only 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. So these are all the few green initiatives that Chandigarh has taken. So amongst all green initiatives, solar promotion of solar energy is also one of the major area where we are focusing on. And you know, out of all 100% of the energy requirement, our energy mix is more than 70% is the renewable, both hydroelectric as well as the solar. And so far as the land area is concerned, since we have land constraints here in Chandigarh, we mostly focus on the rooftop solar, and we have made it mandatory in our building bylaws also. Those who have got 500 square feet and above plot size, they have to have solar rooftop. Because of the constraints of the land, we have gone in for this innovative floating solar projects. So far we have already installed 52 megawatt over 4,200 odd a number of sites, both government as well as the private sectors. And CREST is the nodal agency to implement such projects in Chandigarh. So this is our project. This is a 500 kilowatt. This is again a land neutral project, that is a floating solar project over one lake, that is Danas Lake. The main aim of the project is to utilize the space available for generating green energy, number one. Number two, then again it will improve the health condition of the lake also, so that the proper irrigation takes place. I will go for the details of the project thereafter. And this project, being in this lake is under the control of the forest department, the energy produced in the from the project will neutralize or all the buildings that is maintained by the forest department. So all the power requirement of the forest department will be met only from this project. So the department will be self-reliant so far as the energy requirement is concerned. Total 14 sites are there. So from virtual net metering will be offsetting the power requirement of the forest department. So forest department, after it is already commissioned, so it will be completely relying on the green energy for its requirement. The few highlights of the project: it will annually produce 7 lakh units of the energy, and through this initiative, all the energy needs of the building, as I said, the forest department will be made. This will upgrade the look, beautify the lake also. You all know that Chandigarh is a place where people, they love to walk, they'll go for jogging, running, and where there is a water body, then people still, Sukna is also a very popular destination of the city. So this is another lake where a lot of people, they go for morning walk and evening walk. So this will beautify the lake also in the process. And in past, we have experienced many fishes, they die because of the scarcity of oxygen in the lake. So this is in the process. This will also do the proper aeration of the lake, and eventually the oxygen content of the lake water will also improve, and it will improve the entire biodiversity of the lake. This I've already covered that, because the land constraints that we have selected this land neutral project to be installed, and this is the first of its kind, not only in Chandigarh, in the northern India also. This is, so far, it is the largest floating solar project in North India. Some algal growth also it will check, and it will remove because of the continuous aeration, because this is not only will meet the requirement of the power requirement of the forest department, but it is connected to 10 to 25 meter high fountains also. So it will remove the foul odor because of the continuous circulation of the water. It will remove the foul odor from the lake. So these are the major highlights. This is the largest floating solar power plant in North India so far. The first floating solar power plants in India designed and installed in shape of an octagon. Wherever the these floating solar projects are there, mostly it is rectangular in shape, but this, just for the beautification of the area, we have made it octagonal also. It has got 3 fountains ranging from 10 to 25 meter height. Then, following the successful completion of 500 this project, taking our experience from this project, we have already in the process of installing another 2 megawatt floating power project in the waterworks, which is being executed, and already the foundation stone was laid by the Honorable President of India, and it is likely to be completed by 31st of December this year.
Sorry, sir, for interruption. Can you please conclude your presentation in 2 minutes?
Yeah, it is almost over. The challenges is a new technology where we did not have the previous implementation, though we have installed many other projects, but the floating, we did not have the previous experience. That was a major challenge before us. The depth of the lake was another issue, because in case the depth is less, definitely the fountain or mooring also will be a problem. Then the floater material, it may contaminate the water, so choosing the floating material was also very important. We had a small experience of 20 kilowatt in the past. So from there, this HDP we have selected because of it is cost effective. Then safety issues, because the cable also may come in touch with the water, and since the water power is being generated, the safety issue was also a challenge. That also we have taken great care. These are all the few photographs. This is during the initial stage of the project. Here the project is installed. This is the final stage of the project, and here we have installed the fountains. You can just see this is the project's the power project, and this here we have put the fountains. And taking our experience from this project, we are in the process of installing that as a in our waterworks also. That is also a land neutral project. It is in the process. It is likely to be completed by 31st of December. And we have identified a few more tanks also in the waterworks. And in future, maybe in another 1.5 years time, we have a plan to install another 8 megawatt project over this waterworks. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Excellent work. In fact, this is a very good project. What was the project cost of this 500 kilowatt power plant?
Sir, it was 3.34 crore in all over the country. Wherever this such kind of solar projects are there, it is along with 5 years maintenance also O&M. But we have 10 years O&M as well as 3 fountains. Putting all together, it is 3.34. And if you subtract this minus this O&M cost, capital cost is 3.04 crore.
Okay, fair enough. Not much.
Not much.
Sure, definitely. And you are also developing another project of by the end of next month, which will be completed.
It is almost 80% through. It is almost 80% through. By 31st December, it will be ready.
Definitely. Very good work, sir. Thank you, please.
Thank you so much.
So what is the cost of generation from this project?
It will be almost like 35 lakhs in a year. So almost 8 to 9 years will be the period. Payback period will be 8 to 9 years.
So what? No, I am just asking per unit cost of generation.
Per unit cost is almost like 4.8.
4.8
Yes,
rupees per unit.
per unit, and 7 lakh unit will be generated.
Okay, good enough. But NTPC has already installed so many floating solar projects. So what is so innovative in this? This is business as usual.
Sir, innovative here is number one, it doesn't occupy any space. The land was already, it is land neutral, that I said. And number two, our experience says wherever we have put up this rooftop solar, our generation is almost like 1300 units annually from 1 kilowatt. Here, because of the cooling effect of the panels, our generation is 1400. It is almost like 100 unit extra generation also will be there.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
And then, as I said, it will improve the health of the lake also by proper aeration and continuous circulation of the water.
So it's a multi-purpose project then.
It's a multi-purpose thing. Otherwise, land was otherwise it was of no use other than this simply the open space.
Okay, good enough.
Thank you so much.
So, sitting beside me, today I would like to give presentation on. Just I'll open my presentation, sir, and I'll explain. Sir, this is our presentation, sir. I'm going to give presentation on AP Transco network maintenance and monitoring information system. So, as AP Transco, as a transmission utility, aims to plan, construct and maintain the transmission network in the state of AP in line with the demand growth and generation expansion in an efficient manner so as to ensure highest availability and lowest operational costs. So in AP Transco, we maintain network in 3 voltage levels, 400 kV, 220 kV and 130 kV. And as per the latest statistics, the total number of AHT substations existing are 354 numbers, total number of lines 1060 numbers, and total number of towers 63,000 numbers. Similarly, the total length of lines 33,310 km. So because of the diversified locations of consumers, generating stations, and also the substations which are located at the various corners of the AP, so made the electrical networks so complex. So maintaining the information about this network like line information, substation information in the Excel format is very difficult. So these are the challenges we face to maintain the asset information data. Similarly, for conducting system studies, we have power systems wing. For planning the transmission network, they require the adjacent network for the available. So they want to visually see the geographical information of the network existing nearby so that they can plan the optimum network for the transmission scheme. Similarly, for substation also, how the layout, I mean, to existing in the field and the details of the equipment are also required for maintenance and planning of the improvements. So these were the challenges we experienced. So as a part of digitization, our management, AP Transco, decided to implement the geographical information system in EHT transmission network in southern region, transmission network. So it is, as per our knowledge, we learned that in southern region, we are the first state to implement GIS in EHT transmission network for the purpose of network maintenance and monitoring. So the basic features of this GIS is a computer-based system. So if the internet is there, we can access the network. I mean, we can access the system from anywhere. So it helps in collection of the data and management and storage in the database and analyzing the data and visualization and for generating the various maps for the spatial data available in the field. So this GIS technology we implemented in AP Transco in the year 20. Maybe we initiated the project in the year 20 and completely implemented in the year 2021 by using the procuring the ArcGIS software and the servers required for this like web server, application servers, database server, identity servers, the entire architecture of servers we are maintaining in cloud. So using internet, our team at headquarters, so they are configuring the, data modeling and whatever the configurations required at server level, those are configured by our team at a headquarters and through internet and the mobile app, and we have the GA portal. So users can access the data for updation and for accessing and analyze the data available in real time. So integration of the real-time data, SCADA data is also possible through GIS, and integration with AutoCAD is possible. Integration with other IT applications existing in our AP Transco like SAP, etc. So we can integrate. So these are the features available. Some of the features. This is some of the features available in the GIS. Taking the advantage of these features, we have developed 5 applications as of now through GIS. So one is AP GIS grid map. There we have mapped all the entire network existing in the field 400 kV, 220 kV, 130 kV. We replicated the same similarly existing how it exists in the field. Geographically, we mapped into the GIS map, and also the substations boundaries are mapped, and we also made it available in the AP Transco website. And the asset information system for the, the towers and line details, and also substation equipment details are all collected and maintained in the asset information system map. Similarly, islanding scheme. So Ministry of Power recommended to implement islanding schemes in all utilities. As per SRPC directions, we have designed the Vijayawada islanding scheme. This network, the network which is participating in the islanding, so that we have captured and mapped, and it is integrated with the real-time data of the SCADA, so that the power flows in the network can be monitored. So that diagrams I will show, sir, in the next slide. Similarly, for under construction projects. So sitting in the headquarters, management desire to know what is going on in the field. So especially the under construction projects. So there might be hurdles in like ROW issues, river crossings, railway crossings. So many statutory clearances are needed. Those things also will be known by plotting the data. So these also we made in another map only for construction projects. So construction projects, which includes both lines and substations. And one more thing is dashboards. We have developed dashboards for our management purpose as a decision support system for all the above four, like grid map. We have taken statistics of the network, similarly asset information. So whatever information is required that can be queried and shown. Similarly, islanding scheme, that monitoring screen we made available to our AP SLDC people, and also for SRPC also, I mean SRLDC. And for under construction project, progress also can be visualized through dashboards. Sir, one by one, I will be explaining, sir. So these are the main 5 applications. In that, first, I will show you the APGIS grid map. So in this grid map, you can see this. This is our entire AP map, wherein we have mapped our entire 400 kV network, 220 kV, 400 kV. You can see, sir, the first, when you open the map, you can see the 400 kV network that is seen in red color. So that network is similarly that longitudes and latitudes are taken, and accordingly those are mapped perfectly as it exists in the field. So this is the 400 kV map, sir. If you zoom a particular location, you can see in the left corner, you can see all the lines like 220 kV in green color and 130 kV in blue color. So if you go on zoom out, you can get the details of the line. And also if you click on the line, you can see where is its source and where is its destination of the line. Similarly, the loads also, RTSS loads, generation, those are all represented symbolically, and it's very user friendly, sir. So this is the grid map. For developing the grid map, actually our team in the field as well as in the headquarters, they went extra mile. Apart from the regular duties, it took a long time, sir, because as the 64,000 towers data, getting the data itself is a big task for this project. So from the field, our people, wherever tower profiles are available, we have taken data from that. For where tower profiles data, where longitudes and latitudes are not available, our field people went to the locations which are unapproachable, like some towers are in the river, some towers are in the forest, some are in a very hilly area. Those areas also our field people went and could get the details and furnish it to the headquarters people. Similarly, our team sitting in headquarters, they are new to this technology. So in spite of it's a new software, they took it as a challenge. As per the decision taken, change management decision taken by our management, they went extra mile and sat for hours together, and they modeled the entire data available in the field into the server and made it visible by deploying in the portal server available, by publishing in the portal server, and the data can be accessed from any users through web or internet. This is the grid map, about grid map, sir. Next is asset information. So we have, as you saw, we have a number of substations, a huge number of lines. Maintaining the data in the form of Excel is very difficult. So we use it to maintain the data in the Excel format, and whenever any updation is required. So updating the data, maintaining the data is a big task. For that, we have taken the information about the towers. Suppose if it is a line, we have taken the information about the towers and identified the tower locations and tower type and tower angle and tower make. Those all details we have captured and mapped into the network. Similarly, substation, if you take the substation.
Sorry for interruption, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please conclude your presentation in a minute?
Yes, sir. Next is like that we have islanding scheme, sir. This I have mentioned about, and here we can see the entire details of the islanding part. Next is dashboard, sir. This is a dashboard. From this, management can see the entire details of the project, how much is balance, how much is budget is required, and where is the location and all. Next is the benefits of the, this is the data is accurate, sir. We can find the site suitability from the construction of the projects. Similarly, finding the feasibility, preparation of the feasibility proposals also became easy because of the virtual preliminary survey can be done through GIS, and also the time taken for conducting system studies also very less, sir. So the island scheme is very useful for monitoring. Similarly, the progress of construction work is readily available for management anytime, so it has to take proper decisions. Similarly, we have provided geographical information of our AP network to PM Gati Shakti Nation Master Plan data, because state master plan GIS portal is being developed at state. They wanted this geographic information. We could be able to provide this, through this information. Similarly, disaster management, if any disaster happens, by knowing what are the materials destroyed, damaged, knowing the details, we could able to immediately order or allot the materials so that the restoration of the supply can be done easily. So dashboards, as we said already, it's making decisions and visualizing the trends. Dashboards we are using, sir. The final slide, which I am discussing, is the future roadmap. So here, as we developed Vijayawada Islanding Scheme, so similarly, we have the Visakhapatnam Islanding Scheme already implemented, that we are going to develop in the GIS, sir, by integrating data with SCADA. Similarly, the real-time power flow data from SCADA, we are planning to map to the APGIS network, so that entire network where the flows are flowing, flows are happening, we can monitor, and we can identify the water overloaded and underloaded load lines, so that we can take decision for enhancement of the system to ensure the stability. Similarly, we have enterprise system SAP. So we want to integrate with the financial management module, so that the project progress financially can also be monitored by the management. Similarly, the asset information, not only maintaining the asset information, we would like to capture the entire history of the equipment till its reliability reaches its reliability curve, so that appropriate decisions can be taken by the management. Disaster management. So if any natural calamities are happening, our management can visualize the area and what are the equipments available. Accordingly, they can plan and take proactive action for less damages. Similarly, we have a control room. Other than control room, we have our own lands and buildings. We want to develop this also, a estate monitoring map, so that these details can be known, sir. This is the final my presentation, sir. Just I would like to say, sir, final sentence. As we use Google Maps, when we don't have Google Maps, it was very difficult for to reach any location or to identify, to travel to some unknown location. So now our life became easy because of this Google Maps. Similarly, because of our GIS maps, our engineers are feeling it's very, easy to function their to execute their work effectively and efficiently, and fastly, very quickly. They could able to execute their works. This is the benefits. These are the benefits of this GIS application, which we implemented for network maintenance and monitoring information system, sir. Thank you very much for giving an opportunity to share my presentation. Thank you, sir.
Excellent presentation, ma'am, and that too in simple words. It is really a very good presentation. We enjoyed it. In fact, your ArcGIS software, in fact, how is it helping you in maintenance, particularly preventive maintenance of switchgear equipment of substations, like switch transformers, circuit breakers, LTCT, PT, and all that?
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam. Thanks for your comments. Actually, as of now, we are maintaining the asset information, madam. As I said, we are also planning to maintain the history of the equipment also. So based on that, based on that, if we see the history of the equipment, we will examine its full life and how it is functioning and all. Based on that, management can plan proactively for procurement of sick equipment or aged equipment, like, yeah. And also, ma'am, because of since we can visualize the layout available in the substation physically, though we are not, we need not go there from headquarters itself. If any expansions are there, so for new bays are required, so we can visualize what are the bay provision available, space available, so that we can plan and we can add additional transformers, and the decisions can be taken from the headquarters or field offices itself. So similarly, maintenance also we are planning to do, ma'am. As of now, that's not there. We are maintaining asset information. In future, we will track the entire history of the equipment.
In fact, transmission lines are not go for frequent outages, but substation equipment, switchgear equipment do generally. Very
Yes.
good. I think your ArcGIS will go a long way in minimizing the outages and promote preventive maintenance.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Actually, our POSOCO and SRTC in one of the forum, they appreciated our AP GIS network, stating that it's very useful, and they recommend for other southern utilities also to implement, so that to reap the benefits of that. Sir.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you, please.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, Niti Aayog in collaboration with ISRO and Ministry of Power is preparing some energy map.
Sir.
So is your system compatible and integrated in that?
Sir, could you please repeat, sir? I didn't get it.
Niti Aayog is also preparing an energy map. You must be aware. So they are mapping all assets of power sector.
Sir. Sir, actually, we didn't get the information, sir. As of now, that master plan of that only we know, sir. We didn't get the information, sir. If it is required, definitely we can integrate, sir, because the data is available, network is available. Definitely, if required, we can integrate, sir. It's scalable, no problem, sir.
Because then if you don't integrate your information with the Ministry of Powers and ISRO's energy map, so then it will be a duplication of work.
Yes, sir. If required, as per our management directions, that can be done, sir.
Okay, very good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
AP State Load Dispatch
This meeting is being recorded.
First of all, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to present what we have developed in AP SLDC. We here are a 5-member team headed by one executive engineer, and we are under constant guidance and mentorship of our director and chief engineer SLDC. To tell you briefly about our organization, SLDC is mainly responsible for carrying out real-time grid operations, maintain load generation balance, and to dispatch uninterrupted power supply to each and every consumer across the state of Andhra Pradesh. Now, let me briefly introduce you to some terms which I'll be using in the upcoming slides. Is my next slide visible, sir?
Yes, it is visible. Please go ahead.
Demand is the amount of power consumed at a particular point of time. This is an instantaneous value. Coming to energy, this is the same amount of power, but it is integrated over a period of time. Here we are using daily energy. So the period of integration time is 1 day. Time block. Each day is divided into 96 time blocks. So each time block has 15 minutes. Availability is nothing but the ability of generator to generate power at a particular point of time. Coming to power deficit or surplus, it's nothing but the difference between availabilities and demand. Availability minus demand. If availability is greater than the demand required, then we are in a state of surplus. Or on the other hand, if the demand required is more than the availability, we are in the state of power deficit. In order to plan our next day effectively, we need to know both either availability and demand for the next day. In this equation, availability minus demand, the availability part is already known to us beforehand because we know how much power is going to be available on the next day. Whereas demand, we have to forecast it properly. This makes demand the key decision variable in maintaining the load generation balance, which is a key role of SLDC. So why this demand forecast is important and what happens if it's not accurate? In simple words, I can say if demand forecast fails, load generation balance fails. If load generation balance fails, we need to either overdraw or underdraw from the grid. This causes huge penalties levied on us. For example, in the case of power shortage, we have two options before us. One is either to purchase that shortfall power from the real-time power market, which may be at higher cost. This case will be very uneconomical. The second option before us is to shut down the loads. This causes severe inconvenience to our consumers, and we are not at all ready to do this. So the demand forecast is very important, and it should be very, very accurate. Earlier, this demand forecast is done manually. We used to take previous day's demand data and we used to consider weather forecast and predict the next day's demand based on our intuition and experience. Though we have lots of information with us, often the manual forecasts are not accurate because though we have information, we don't know the time when the action needs to be taken. For example, we know the rainfall will set in and the demand falls, but we don't know the exact amount of reduction in the demand or when the demand fall will happen. So for this, we need more sophisticated softwares to achieve good forecast accuracy. Or in simple words, I can say we just need a machine that can think like human brain. Then we started developing more computerized advanced models. They started our journey of our project. Now I'll let you take you through our long journey, how our project initiated, developed, and implemented, and what are the challenges we have faced during this journey. Firstly, we have identified all the factors influencing this demand, and we checked correlation with every variable on the state demand. The factors used inside our model are called regressors. So we have finalized these parameters and we have incorporated to our model. They are weather data. Weather data means temperature, humidity, and rainfall, festivals, holidays, schedule maintenances. As AP state is rich of agriculture load, we incorporated agriculture seasons also into our model. Then comes lift irrigation load, unforeseen conditions like COVID also. Coming to weather data, we cannot just add weather data from any other location in the state. Selection of location should be in such a way that the weather data at that location should have significant impact on the demand. So selection of that locations is one of the biggest challenges we have encountered during our process of model development. We have collected weather data from AP SDPS, that is history data, that we have received it hourly, and we have received forecast weather data at 3-hour intervals from RTGS. This raw data has so much missing part and we had to interpolate. Handling such data and interpolating to time block level, that is 15-minute level, as our demand is at 15-minute level. This also took significant amount of time. The data pre-processing work also took significant amount of time. After receiving this data, we started building models taking different combinations of these regressors. During the coding part we had done while building the models is using programming language R, which is open source. During the early stages, we have started building time series regression models using Prophet library in R. We have done almost 30 studies in this. We have observed, after doing this, we have observed the runtime and memory requirements of these models are a bit large. So then we shifted on to deep learning models, ANN models, to further fine tune the models. After such heavy trial and error runs, we could only reduce our error to only 5%. Then we thought of, we observed the daily energy is actually matching with the actuals rather than the blockwise data. So we thought of dividing our model into 2 stages. First is energy model and then is demand model. We predicted energy first and then that model output is given to demand model. This switching on to 2-stage model has enhanced our model accuracy and our error reduced to 2 to 3%. This is one of the biggest steps we did in our during the process of our model development. Now let me brief you about how our artificial intelligence model is built and its architecture. Firstly, we have used this Keras library in R, which runs on the top of TensorFlow, which is Python's deep learning package. After data pre-processing, we divided our data set into two types. One is training data set and other is testing data set. In approximately 80:20 ratio, that ratio also we have checked. We have checked various ratios and we have finalized at 80:20 ratio. Then we constructed a multi-layer model. Multi-layer model is nothing but a stack of fully connected layers. As you can see here, first layer of the neural network is called input layer and the last layer is called output layer. All the layers between them are called hidden layers. The neural network can have any number of hidden layers. Each layer has a bunch of number of neurons. At this neuron, the actual data processing takes place. After constructing this multi-layer model, we compile and fit the model using the training dataset, which I've already split into. And the input is given to the input layer. This input data is transferred from input layer to output layer via these weighted channels. When we give the input to the model, the input is multiplied with weight of that channel and output is calculated and output is transformed into the next layer, passed on to the next layer. During this model training, where a number of iterations happen, and during each iteration, the weight of this channel is adjusted so that very good results are obtained at the output layer. After training the data, after fitting the model with training data, we predicted the target values based on test data. After the model is finalized, we evaluated the model using a daily forecast data. These are the model key technical in-depth parameters used in our latest demand model. It is brought your attention that we have tried different number of combinations of these number of various parameters like number of neurons, iterations, batch size, to finally fix these values. So we had done almost 40 studies in only ANN models. These are the regressors and the model MAPE value, that is mean absolute percentage error value of our latest demand model in APSLDC. I am showing you the example actual versus forecast graph on 19 November 2022. You can see the actual versus forecast energy is matching, but there's little deviation in the blockwise data, but it is also under permissible limits. Coming on to, and this model is now running automatically in the APSLDC servers. As and when we receive weather data, daily weather data, the model runs automatically without any human intervention. And the output forecast demand is automatically pushed in the database for further use. Coming on to future developments to our project, currently we are receiving weather data at 3-hour intervals. We are in the process of researching on how to get this weather forecast data at time block level so that our demand is also at time block level. This can significantly improve our model accuracy. But again, this depends on the availability of data, such data from the forecasting agency. And we are also planning to, we are already in the process of developing a similar model for intraday power demand forecasting also. By this model, we can predict demand for the next 5 to 6 blocks. Doing this, we can make purchase or sale power decisions easily and can be used in the real-time power grid operations. We are also planning to integrate this intraday demand model with the power optimization tool, which is also under development by our team. This can further optimize the power purchase cost. We are also planning to develop year-ahead forecasts for long-term power purchases so that we can buy power at cheaper cost earlier, and short-term transmission network planning to deliver quality power to our consumers. Finally, to conclude, this developed AI model handles huge data. So, for example, 5 years of data into 365 days, time block wise, nearly 1,75,000 rows of our data is handled by this AI model. This handling is very smooth, and we can add any additional number of regressors or models without any substantial effort. You can also see this AI model, though we took AP into consideration while developing this AI model, this model can be used as basis for further developments in any other power utilities, provided they have to customize it to their own requirements. Even some of the officials from various power utilities have contacted us and visited APSLDC to study our developed AI model. And this model, runtime and memory requirements of our model are very far better compared to any other forecasting models. I conclude here by saying that our developed AI model, purely in-house developed AI model, is first of its kind in our country, and no other power utility is using this. Thank you.
Ms. Mahita, very good presentation. In fact, your load curve matches with the forecasted and virtual the reality. It is very quite similar on the track, and there is little variance, which is already in the
Yes, sir.
permissible range.
Yes, sir.
By
It's
the
already under permissible
Yes,
limits. We have 250 megawatt limit, and we are almost every day reaching under this plus or minus 250 megawatt range.
Definitely. By the way, do your software, this AI and machine learning model, also capture the renewable energy generation?
No, sir. This is the overall state grid demand. This
Okay,
is
okay.
on the load side. We are talking about the generation side. This is everything is on the load side.
Including renewable energy generation.
This is a consumer behavior, sir, on the load side. Actually, we are taking generation as a fixed value.
Okay.
And we are forecasting demand so that we can optimize the power, and we can get power at cheaper cost.
Sure. Definitely, it will reduce your, because on the spot purchase is very costly power.
Yes, sir. Real time power is every day. At most cases, it's very costly. We are purchasing earlier stage in week ahead and day ahead markets only.
Surely. And you can also not shut down or your customers. It will again be a loss to your
Yes,
utility
sir.
in terms of
Yes, sir.
revenue.
Our SLAC is promising our customers to give an economical and uninterrupted power supply.
Very good. Right. Excellent work. Thank you, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
How are you capturing climatic conditions?
We are purchasing weather data from AP HDPS, Andhra Pradesh State Development Planning Society. We are taking 74 locations, sir, for temperature, and 59 locations for humidity, and 270 locations for rainfall, sir. We are taking weather data from that locations.
Why
And
don't
we are
you
sir?
contact to ISRO? Because
Sir, ISRO we are contacting for the forecast data, sir.
okay,
We are getting weather forecast from ISRO only.
okay. You are
But we are receiving it at 3-hour intervals, sir.
okay. Good enough. Thank you. Very good way of using technology for forecasting of energy demand, and then bring out efficiency in the system. All the best to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Good morning to all, sir. This is Shiva Prasad Reddy, Director Projects and IT, APSPDCL, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. So, thank you for giving an opportunity for this company to present our BPT. So, this is our company profile. Let me introduce our company profile before going into the details of the robo call center facilities. This is a APSPDCL, AP Southern Power Distribution Company. It is located mainly Rayalaseema region of the Andhra Pradesh. It is meeting nearly 20,000 agricultural consumers. Nearly majority of the consumers are 37% is agriculture based, rural based, and backward area. And nearly our, in spite of the rural background, we are able to better performing. You can see the AT&C losses 15.45. Our billing efficiency is 92%, and our total MD is around 5.5 gigawatts. So total consumers are 70 lakhs, nearly 70 lakh consumers. This is the view of our Triple C center working at headquarters Tirupati. So you can see the view. This is the actual live photo.
I can see only your first slide.
Yes. First slide. It is the profile of our company, sir. It is the profile of our company. Just
your slide is not.
the actual view of our customer care center located at Hyderabad, sorry, Tirupati, sir. It's a
Okay.
live location. That is how our people are working and sitting there. This is the profile. That is all over. Next thing. Next, this is the customer care center performance. Actually, we have to how it is performing. Statistics we are presenting, sir. Actually, daily around 420, 400 to 500 consumer calls are we are receiving for various. So we are 70% within the area because we are the SOP standard, BRT and WRT. So that will later 70% are complaints are we are resolving within the time, and 25% we are justly crossing the BRT time. And this is the percentage feedback we are obtaining from the consumers from the robocall. Excellent feedback. 77% is excellent feedback, 8% is good feedback, and 11% is average. That is the feedback levels we are achieving for the consumers. So that is, you can see the average retrieval time, sir. That is the average retrieval time for urban for 4.5 hours. Against the 4 hours as approved by the APRC, sir, as per approved by APRC. For rural, it is taking around 10 hours, sir. So against the 12 hours time given by the APRC, approved by APRC. This is our statistics we are presenting, sir. Next. Next, this is the SOP norms. This is the general statistics, sir. Supply failure related complaints, transformer, and that is the voltage level. These three are the major complaints, sir, contributing around 90% of total calls we are receiving. Supply failure related is 51%, transformer related is 32%, and voltage related 5%, and other comes around 5%. So these are three parameters we are actually getting 90% of total complaints, sir. This is. Next, this is the profile of our company, sir. This is the actual workflow. We can see the how the our you can see, sir, how the CCC center is coming, sir. There are two complaints received from website, complaint receiving from the consumer app. Consumer complaints can be registered directly dialing through 1912. This is the complaint registered through live chat also. So live chat, that is the 1912 calling, and complaints from website, complaints from consumer app, specially developed by our company, exclusively for all services, not only 1912. App can be used for everything. For every aspect of the company can be done with our mobile app. So that mobile app application is separate. But through that mobile app also we can register the complaint, sir. That also all things will come to our the CCC center, sir. From CCC center, you can see, sir, how the flow chart going on. That is actually the CCC center. The call will receive the call either all these inputs call will be recorded in the CCC center, sir. CCC center, our the same thing will be transmitted to our field. Transmitted to our field location where it is actually raised, that local people will address the system, and again they will close. On closing and receiving of the call, the robocall will generate, sir. Only after the closing of the complaint from the field, our people will update. System will automatically update the closing nature, and our robocall will go, sir. So robocall will go and ask for the concurrence from the consumer. So concurrence from the consumer, if the consumer that text message will go, sir. Robocall will send a text message to select one of the options. Three options will be given there. One option for that is complaint is attended. Two option is not attended. Third option is calling of the live operator. They are located in the customer service center. That is the text. Text will be communicated to the respective consumers to give their feedback based on the three options. So one is okay. If the complaint is closed, it is permanently closed. When when they press the 2, automatically the complaint will be reopened. If the consumers are not able to understand, they can call press the third option. They will directly connect it to our customer care center. Again, based on the consumer request, manually our operator can close the issue or raise the issue again. That is the facility robo. That is actually coming to. That is actually process going on in the system, sir. That is already explained, sir. This is the supply failure related, pole related, distribution transfer related, voltage related, vigilance related, line related, billing related. This is the major complaints we are receiving from the field, sir. This is a robocall technology in the CCC APSPD shell. It is actually we are implementing from the last 1 year, sir. So previously manual, that is the manual closing and manual raising of the issues are there, but this because this is a unique feature, sir. We can okay, this is a uniquely why it is better than others means. You can see, sir, the consumer complaints, they will raise the issue on their own. With the consent of the consumer only, the issue will be closed. Because when we randomly close the complaint, we to avoid the compensation or to show the better fictitious, better performance, the system will definitely won't allow, sir. This is the robot technology won't allow fictitious closing of the complaint without actually attending it. Because this APRC is monitoring our performance parameters, SOP as per performance is going on SOP standard. So definitely the APRC, to avoid the compensation to be paid to the consumers, our people may close the consumers without actually attending to it. So you see, sir, the bottom of how the APRC automatic performance, because of the automatic performance also, you can see the compensation raised by the APRC for the payment of the consumers. If Q1, sir, Q3 last year, Q3, Q4, 2.5 lakhs and 1.3 lakhs respectively, we paid to the consumers' accounts automatic compensation. This is automatic compensation without request from the consumer because of our default nature of the reversal of the complaint. Automatic compensation is APRC is insisting. This is a unique feature, sir. APRC nowhere in the country is insisting for the automatic compensation to the consumers for the defaulted service. This is the actual figures arrived only for supply related. There are other service labs that compensation. The only I am showing the only supply related issue, sir. This is the last year. This is for this first quarter also. We are raised about 1.44 lakhs amount to the respective consumers for our defaulted service. So this is a lot of enormous pressure is there on the field. We have to redress the complaints within the resolving time, sir. This is the special. This is already explained, sir. There is no manual interference in attending the complaints. There won't be any chance for manual manipulations. That is one thing, sir. Every complaint will be audio will be recorded, sir, in the system. Every call receive conversation between the operator and the local consumer. Conversation will be recorded for review at the back end, sir. There is a provision to review how our operators are having a conversation with the consumers, how the consumers are reacting. Those things will be monitored on back end level, sir.
Sorry for interruption, sir. Can you please conclude your presentation in 2 minutes, sir?
Okay, sir. That is the one thing, sir. This is a unique nature, sir. APRC, we are fulfilling the aspirations of the customers of the AP by implementing this technology, sir. In this, we have to visualize because initial first stage we are a manual consumer is contacting without first stage itself they are contacting the live operator at the customer care center, sir. To avoid that, we have to make automatic, sir. Automatic complaint raising and first level we have to make everything automatic, sir. To avoid the manual interference, only any reversal on opening of the complaint only the manual operations will be enabled, sir. That we are going to everything automatic first stage, sir. That is without interfering the manual conversation with the consumer, sir. Only robot itself will communicate record the complaint received and sending to the respective local people. First stage we want to implement that automatic. That is first level we will send to the consumer local officers by the robo itself. That is the second level. Only robo calling we are facilitating now. Complaint registering also we have to make automatic, sir. That facility we are going to apply, sir. Because this 1912 facility, we want to make a 100 type, sir. Because police department, any emergency, we are making for 1912 wide publicity in the local area to have a better consumer satisfaction, to avoid accidents, to have a better feedback from the consumer. This quality of the service rendered to the consumers will automatically record in the back end. It will have a better facility was us to still further improve our efficiency, sir. That is every data will be recorded, sir. Based on the data, we want to by analyzing the data, we still have chances to improvise our performance towards the consumers, thereby performing in a better way, sir, company. That's all, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Varnal, sir.
Very good presentation, sir. In fact, your voluntarily automatic compensation to customers it is really
yes, sir. APRC, yes, sir. APRC, there is a gadget notification for government also automatic compensation. That is we are raising, sir. But with due, yes, sir. It is a unique feature, sir.
Definitely, it will put pressure on the working staff to attend the customers' complaints seriously. Excellent work. Thank you so much.
That was not only consumer complaints, sir. Releasing of services.
Sure.
That is estimate sanctions, releasing these three aspects taken care of the APRC, sir.
Sure. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. It's a really innovative things going on in power sector. Thank you for updating us. Excellent work, sir.
Thank you.
Let me introduce myself first. My name is Sivaram Krishna, Municipal Commissioner, Bhimar Municipality of West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh. So my city population is 1,54,000 as per the 2011 census, and approximately now it is come down to 1,80,000. It is established in the year 1920. So today my topic is the Social Security pension, sir. India is the largest welfare country. My second slide is going on, sir. Is it visible, sir? Next.
Yes, sir. Visible. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the Social Security pension system is supporting to the poor and infirm and widows and persons with a disability to secure a dignified life. It is also an immediate relief for the above mentioned people and are outstanding among all other welfare schemes of the government. Really appreciable that government is committed to the welfare and development of the poor and needy people in order to improve their standards of the living standards of the poor and weaker sections of the people. So priority for SC practicing artisans, daily labor, nomadic tribes, destitutes and orphans are also given the more focus on for implementing this social security pension system, sir. So actually the previous government and the government of India starting this system with rupees 75 rupees at the initial stage. Now the government of Andhra Pradesh, it is raised to 2,500 per month, sir. Actually, for implementation of this scheme, next slide. For implementation of this scheme, next. For implementation of this scheme, at our ULB level, 704 ward volunteers and 40 ward welfare secretaries and 37 ward administrators who are working at ward secretary level are persons involved in the ground level, sir. So in our town, nearly we are distributing about 11,335 different categories of pension, like old age pension, widow pension, disabled pension, single woman pension, weavers, and medical and health department pension, and fishermen, cobblers, and dialysis patients, abhayasam, and transgenders, and tardy tappers, like this, all coming to this nearly 11,035 total pensions are there, and approximately 2 crores 50 lakhs is the per month we are spending on this releasing from the government of India, sir. So next time, the eligibility criteria for this sanction system, the beneficiary must be a BPL household family. He must be a resident of this town, and he must be below the monthly income of 12,000, and you must not have, so you must be below the 10 acres of both wet and dry land, or 1,000 square yards below the house, or 300 average consumption of power units. This is the criteria for the eligibility for sanction of this scheme. And this is the main challenges we are facing this, because the government has once sanctioned this social security pension, everybody comes to get that benefit. That's why identification of beneficiaries is the most Herculean task, and to eliminate the misuse of the public money and minimizing the process, because of sanction process is lengthy in previous session, to adopt the digital system to curb the double payments and other things like that. And also due to fast growing and urbanization is also the major challenge, and a frequent migration from one town to other towns is also a challenge. And so what is the definition for the BPL is also previously we are also getting the clarity, missing the clarity, that is also a problem. And the traditional mechanism, manual disbursement and everything, these are the challenges we are facing in the previous days. So now for implementation of this scheme, we are at the initial stage in the 2019 itself. So we are conducting a door-to-door level and the entire town level survey at a micro level. We are identifying the beneficiaries and we are displaying them at the ward secretariat level. Those who are eligible and those who are not getting the benefits are also, we are displaying the list. And for this purpose, we are get the Aadhaar linked system also. We are introducing the system, and we are adopting the digital attendance system for introducing the biometric and iris system and like that, and strengthen the manpower and mechanism by after in Andhra Pradesh is a innovative thing, introduction of a ward secretariat system for each 2,000 to 3,000 public one secretariat is established, and for each 50 to 60 households one volunteer is also there. They are looking after their all the services according to the 74th Amendment Act of the Constitution of India. These secretaries are established in Andhra Pradesh. Accordingly, we are identifying the beneficiaries and we are making the payments every month in the first day of the working day of the month. Even Sunday also, we are also distributing the happens to be first is Sunday. We are also distributing the pension amount with the support of the volunteers and secretaries. This is the selection procedure. After selection of the entire beneficiaries, if anybody wants to submit any application, he has to approach the ward volunteer, and ward volunteer in turn with his remarks he forward to the same to secretariat, and secretariat with his remarks he sent to the GSW Grammar Sachwalaya portal, and then myself, municipal commissioner, is the forwarding authority and approving authority, and we will send to the DRDA and SERP itself, and GSW has to sanction the pension. For once the applicant submitted his application within 10 days, you will get the sanction order. And this after yearly twice, the new pensions are sanctioned, and all the existing old pensions will be distributed on the first day of the month, and the new pensions will be distributed as per the statement showing in the slides. Accordingly, the system is effectively functioning, and all these pensions are distributed through digitized pensions only. After that, these are the excellence of the pension system we are adopting here. Ordinary mobile phones and SIMs are issued to the ward welfare secretaries, and beneficiaries getting the benefits at the doorsteps. Previously, all the beneficiaries are gone to the offices and stand before the office in the morning till evening, and they will get the benefit. Now, in the first day itself, at the morning session by 6 a.m., the ward volunteer will hand over the benefit, security pension to the beneficiaries, 2,500 rupees to the people, and 10,000 rupees to the dialysis patient, or 3,000 rupees to the bedridden patients, and different category. All are distributed at the doorstep, and they will get the benefit at their household. So distribution will be on the first day itself, 95%, and it will be continued up to 5 days, from 1st to 5th, and the last day is the 5th. This is the system we are adopting here, and the previous lengthy procedure is also cut, and now the distribution system is also improved and accuracy, and according to the updation of modules and previous also finding out the death beneficiaries or another thing. And then and there itself, on the month itself, we will find out the beneficiaries of those who are left over to the permanent migrants, or any beneficiary death. We will delete their name. And we are also established one grievance redressal system. Every Monday, there is a Spandana program, and they are getting the grievances. If any eligible candidate are not getting pension, they will also applying this. And in ward secretariat also, for every day, they are conducting the Spandana program, and they are getting this benefit. Like this, sir, these are the beneficiaries, and myself also checking the distribution, the old age pensions and other thing. And these are the bedridden and the dialysis patients, and these are the secretary people. They are also distributing this amount. So this is the final, this is the outcome. This scheme, due to implementation of the biometric and Irish and obvious fake fraudulent benefits are easily identified, and the objective of the government in implementation of social security pensions given fruitful results while improving the living standards and dignity of their life among the needy and poor people. Nearly the transparency and the speed distribution system is also very much improved. Due to implementation of this ward secretariat system, all the beneficiaries are getting their benefits at the doorstep level. Now we are paying nearly 30 to 32 crores per month, per annum, in all the 39 wards of our Bhimavaram town, sir. Yes, it is
Sorry, sir, for
replicable.
interruption. Sir, can you please conclude your presentation in 1 or 2 minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sure, sir. I will. It is also replicable. All other states which are quite interesting and focusing about the poor and needy people. The ward sector, due to implementation of this ward secretary system, is here it is called as a YSR pension Conca scheme, and this is the future roadmap also. Steps to be taken to improve living standards of the needy people, and 100% sanctions, and no more the saturation. The sky is the limit. If they are eligible, they will get it. Any ineligible candidate, we can also eliminate from the list, and it is the system we are adopting in our Bhimavaram town. Really, the feel-good factor and the living standards of the poor and needy people are also improved, and we are also very much happy to serve the people in this aspect, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, good presentation. Generally, the social security schemes and pensions, they have direct benefit transfer. Directly, the amount is credited into the account of the beneficiary. Your system is a little bit different, where ward boy hand over the amount to the beneficiary. Is there any
Yes,
specific reason for that?
Yes, sir. If we are directly deliver the amount to the account system, if the beneficiary is not residing in the town, or is the any beneficiary in the event of death and other things, we can't find the person after lapse of time. So there some misuse or anything, sir. And that's why we are introducing this ward secretariat system. Every month, in the first day itself, we are find out that, and without any delay. Even bank also open by 10 a.m. But our ward level secretary, in the morning itself at the doorstep, and by 6 a.m. they are delivered the amount on the first day of the month. Even it is a holiday also.
No, that is not the issue. But what is the incentive on how this ward secretaries are decided? How do you onboard them?
Sir, actually, this is the regular Gram Ward Secretary. There is a the GSW department is there, sir. They are in 2019 in the entire state, all the urban 2 to 3,000 population is the criteria for a 1 unit as a ward or 2 wards merger as a unit. And we are selecting the 10 different categories of ward secretaries are there, sir. One is for administrative secretary, planning secretary, welfare secretary, like this, sir. And all these persons are appointed by government of Andhra Pradesh, and they are getting the involved in implementation of welfare schemes. Similarly, as well as development schemes also, sir, like basic civic infrastructure by construction roads and everything. They are also watching. There is engineers, planners, and everything. Every person is there, sir.
Okay, okay. Good participatory model. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So in your presentation, you mentioned that around 11,000 categories are there.
Yes, sir.
Is it not
Yes, sir.
possible to reduce these categories?
Sir, the first one is the old age pension, sir. Old age pension means that those who are BPL family cross the age of 60 years are eligible this person, sir. Widow pension, though they are below the 60 years, after 45 years, if husband person death, they can get the pension, sir. Disabled means 40% above disability persons are getting this pension, sir. Similarly, if the person who are not residing and divorced widow single person maybe is also getting this pension, sir, 2,500 rupees, sir. Similarly, the artisans and weavers and all other persons are also getting the benefits, sir. Similarly, those who are not functioning of the kidneys and other things, they are getting benefit of 10,000 rupees category, sir. CKDU, the pension system is there, sir. Similarly, 3,000 rupees for transgenders, they are also getting this one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Myself, Kishore Garud. I'm superintending engineer in charge at MSc TCL Corporate Office, looking after transmission O&M. Let me have the pleasure of introducing my CMD, Honorable Sri Dinesh Wagmare, sir, who is the major driving force behind the technological innovation we have adopted in the recent past. And the product being presented by me is also a fruit of encouragement, constant encouragement from his side. Good morning. Myself, Kishore Garud. I am superintending engineer in charge looking after transmission O&M at Corporate Office, MSc TCL, Mumbai. Let me have the pleasure of introducing our CMD, Honorable Sri Dinesh Wagmare, sir, who is the driving force behind all the technological advancement we have adopted recently. In fact, the drone technology which is being implemented at MSc TCL is the fruit of his constant encouragement to all the MSc TCL team. Next one. So, Maharashtra State Electricity Transmission Company is one of the largest state transmission utility in the India. Our transmission system is capable of handling about 27,000 megawatt of power. We are the only state utility in India owning HVDC transmission system. We have introduced 400 kV system in the year 1976. So, technological innovation is in our blood, and we are ready to adopt new trends, state-of-the-art technologies. Our rolling 5-year infrastructure plan is about 16,000 crores. We have transmitted 89,000 million units in the year 22-23 up to September. We have sanctioned staff strength of about 15,000 employees all across state of the Maharashtra. To just give a brief about our infrastructure, we have a vast infrastructure. Maharashtra being highly industrialized and urbanized state, load is also very huge. We have in all about 706 numbers of EHV substations, right from 66 kV to 765 kV. Having the transformation capacity of about 1,30,000 MVA. We have EHV line at measuring 49,000 circuit kilometers. And the line consists of about 1,50,000 of towers. So task before us is very huge while maintaining and operating this network. So before introduction of this drone technology, we had carried out, we are carrying out a part of our network through what we call it as a monkey patrolling, in which a person has to climb up to the top of the tower and visually assess the condition of each and every accessories, and then note it down, and then take remedial measures accordingly. So the task was bit depending upon the manual abilities. So to reduce the time required for EHV line patrolling with high accuracy and precision to reach the towers at inaccessible locations and remote places. See, Maharashtra, we have the Sahyadri hills, so many of the lines crisscrosses through the hilly terrains. Again, some of the tower lines are running through the dense forest as well as creeks. So high tide, low tide, all the issues were there and still are there to ensure clear visibility of every nook and corner for precise observation of damages. See, what happens is that whenever you carry out monkey patrolling through or manual patrolling, then it all depends upon the ability of the person, his expertise. So there were challenges in precisely knowing the defects in the network or EHV tower lines. Again, despite having adequate safety measures, there is always risk to the person who is doing the job. Then again, poor manual patrolling may affect availability and reliability of transmission network, constraint in identifying minute defects of the damages. What happens is that being highly urbanized and industrialized state, so we have to maintain very high availability and reliability of the network. So any single failure of the power in the major urban areas like Pune, Nasik, Mumbai leads to a huge social impact. And so we have to be always on toes. So that was a very tricky issue before us, is always being. Now again, timing is very much required, because see what happens, inspection of 150,000 towers it takes a huge time. So manual inspection is time consuming and largely depends upon person's ability, as I have already told. Right. So this remote airborne inspection and scanning system, RAISS, that is remote control drone. So patrolling of transmission lines is carried out using drone, which has pre-installed high sensitive visual cameras as well as thermovision cameras. And these are included with GPS. So we can easily identify the location, that is lat and longs can be identified and recorded on the pictures and images. This results in precise monitoring of the visual defects. Visual images, videos are recorded by any possible defects like lacuna. Encroachment issues along with the ROW are also closely watched. Can you remove this? So digitally recorded data contains all the relevant details such as latitude and longitude of tower location, time and date, and saved on cloud platform. So beauty of the system is that all the data is saved and recorded on the cloud platform. So that can be accessed all across the state of the Maharashtra. So expert persons can go through the data and pinpoint the lacunas or defects. The data is monitored, analyzed by a team of expert engineers using state-of-the-art software to ensure near perfect healthiness of the transmission assets. Presently, MSTCL is using 24 numbers of drones for EHV line patrolling of risk scanning. And again, we have a proposal to expand the existing fleet of drones, and which is already under process. We are the only, or rather first state utility in India, which has the license or permission from various authorities, that is Director General of Civil Aviation, Foreign Trade, then Wireless Planning Commission. We have got all the permissions from them to fly the drones. So these are the basic specifications of the drones which are being used by MSTCL. The drones are immune to electromagnetic interference. And again, the takeoff weight is about 6 kg. This is equipped with 360-degree anti-collision sensor. Operation range is about up to 7 kilometers. This is a very useful feature because the anti-collision as well as this operation range, because standing or sitting at a single point, I can go up to 7 kilometers and then monitor the towers or locations that lie in between. It's very lightweight and carbon fiber body, has built-in GPS, maximum flight time of 40 minutes. Actually, subsequent models have a bit larger flight time, about 60 to 65 minutes. And again, I think as the technology evolves, it will go further more. The drones are compliant to IP43 and are very user-friendly. So with the basic minimal training, drones can be flied by the operators. So just to differentiate between the manual and drone patrolling, in manual patrolling has to climb each tower for inspection, largely depends upon expertise of individual inspecting the tower. So it's a physical task. We have to, the towers, as my colleagues from AP Transco can correlate, some of the towers are right up to 60-70 meters. So it's very tedious job to climb up to the top and then again come back. And so there is always a physical limitation. So one person can carry out the patrolling. In case of a drone, operating range is 7 kilometers. So no need to go by nearby each location. Data is captured automatically and the defects can be identified by the experts. So the person who is operating the drone need not be the expert in the domain. That can be subsequently visualized by the experts and defects can be identified. Difficult in case of manual patrolling, it's difficult to monitor inaccessible locations. Some of the locations in our case in Maharashtra, because of the Sahyadri Hills, some of the locations are about there is height difference of about 150 to 200 meters. So the conductor takes the shape of parabola. So in that condition, especially the inspection of the conductors is very, very difficult or rather impossible, which is possible only with the help of drone. So remote control enables easy monitoring of all the locations at all the locations. And in case of manual patrolling, more chances of human errors, as rightly can be said. Negligible in this case, negligible chances of errors because drone is a machine and the data can be easily captured. Provided the only thing is that operator should be adequately trained. So safety concerns of field technicians are always there in case of manual patrolling. There are no such concerns in case of a drone because it's remotely operated. So more manpower is required for manual patrolling, whereas very minimal or less manpower can be used for drone patrolling. So data management is one of the major aspects, which is very tedious because manually you have to store the data by writing on manuscripts, and then again we have to refer back certain past history or records. Very difficult. So in this case, as I have said, the cloud platform gives us easy access to the data, huge data. So efficient data management is the key for the drone patrolling. And time consuming is the, as I have said, time consuming process is manual patrolling. And this is the very quick and speedily drone patrolling. So as a sample case, I have just illustrated one example from one of our EHU&M circle, wherein there are about 8 lines they have carried out patrolling of about 232 locations. So 45 numbers of defects are observed and attended. I'll just brief up about the defects observed. So mainly while inspection, the important checkpoints that needs to be looked into are healthiness of hardware, corona ring, vibration damper, suspension oblique tension clamps, then healthiness of conductor, earth wire, earth bond, missing or loosened nut bolts, arcing horn, and insulator strings. So typical defects observed during the drone patrolling.
Sorry, sir, for interruption. Sir, can you please conclude your presentation in 2 minutes?
Couple of minutes, please. Couple of minutes. Yeah, please. So these are the photographs in which we have captured that there are some of the missing or loose nut bolts are there. As AP Transco people can correlate, it's very difficult through manual patrolling. Next one. In this case, the corona ring has been damaged. There are some minute holes observed due to flashover. These are some cotter pins or safety or lock pins are missing in this case. So we have attended some of the defects observed, and this this minute defect of missing cotter pins has also been identified and then subsequently attended to. So jumper nut bolts in this case are also missing and which has been replaced subsequently. Damaged jumper, dislocation of earth wire jumper, earth bond, corroded parts. So this is a typical case.
There are actually visual images from the drone camera.
Actually, in the Karad zone, there was heavy flood 6 months back, and the location where the tower has collapsed was about 4 kilometers in the totally flooded area. However, due to drone only, we could assess the exact damages to the towers and that took the remedial measures. Again, as I have said, we have thermovision camera as well equipped with the drone. So these are the images of the hotspot identified by that thermovision camera. So this identified hotspot has been attended to, which was having the temperature of more than 160 degrees, and subsequently it came down to 35 degrees. Next. This is a typical video shot through drone's eye. So you can see it's capturing each and everything very minutely. which is just impossible with the naked eyes of the person. Especially in case of forward cable lines and multi-circuit lines, wherein cord conductors are there, so hardwares are very clumsy. So in this case, in such cases, this is a very useful technology. Even a minute pore or minute hole can be identified or located. Next one. So some of the limitations are there in the technology, because see, the technology has been recently introduced or launched. So there has to be certain limitations. However, as time goes by and this use becomes widespread, I'm sure that it would be taken care of. The battery backup is only about 40-45 minutes. Manual data analysis is required. However, artificial intelligence and machine learning has already been, we are already exploring it, and hopefully within the next maybe a year or two, we'll be able to do it. So in that case, with the available data, all the defects can be pinpointed by software itself. So there is no need of, again, visually going through each and every slide and a pic or video recording. So it's very delicate to operate the drone. And way forward, drones can be used for accurate survey during planning stage for new substation and lines. Drones with heavy payload or high payload. So what happens is that whenever there is a requirement of head loading for the construction works, drones can be used. In fact, drones are available having the payload capacity of about 250 to 300 kg, which can be used for such a purpose for material transportation. Drones can be used to assess the conditions, damages during natural disaster or calamities. With the evolution of technology, enhancement in flight time will lead to increased efficiency and usage of AI and ML in conjunction with the drone technology. It's the way forward. Yeah. So that's it from our side. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me. Thank you so much.
Very good presentation, sir. In fact, these are the pictures which you have shown. The defects you have noticed are really the best example of using technology in carrying out, pinpointing out the defects. By the way, how frequently do you do this drone patrolling?
Sir, basically, presently we have about 24 numbers of drones. So, and considering the total quantum of our towers, it's impossible to cover all the towers with the drone technology. However, to the possible extent, we are catering to maximum requirement. And our people at many of the circles, we have the zones and circles for transmission on purpose. So there is no paucity of the trained manpower. The only thing or only bottleneck before us is the battery time. So battery, that time is very limited to us. Flight time is very limited with this drone. So, but we are using, we are doing the maximum use of this.
And we are placing order for another 42 drones.
Yeah.
And these drones are with the latest technology, which has better battery lifetime.
Yes,
Definitely. Very good presentation, sir. In fact, this technology should be used by other electricity departments also. Very good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So with the use of drones, is there any reduction in maintenance cost?
Definitely, sir. See, cost, I mean, what has happened is that, see, this is a very useful tool for predictive maintenance. So what is happening, even the holes or pores on the corona ring has been observed by us. So which would have led to tripping of the line at one fine morning maybe. So beforehand, doing the proactive maintenance has led to reduction in the tripping, definitely led to reduction in the tripping, sir.
Excellent use of technology in power.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.